fire a solid 3-pound cannonball. So that's solid iron, not an exploding cannonball like you see in cartoons. A solid iron cannonball about the size of a billiards ball or a tennis ball. 300 yards, that's how far that cannonball is going for long range use. 3 football fields. So at close range, we would pack it with 32 musket balls. So with the same ammunition used in our muskets, 32 of them filled into the cannon, and that's called canister shot. So when it fires, it's going to create a big widespread area of fire like a giant shotgun. So those are the 2 main ordinances that this cannon can fire, but it can also fire every type of little nail and screw and bits of rocks and glass. That would be called scatter shot. So if we ran out of ammunition, we'd just pick up whatever we had on the ground to fire it out of the cannon. It takes a crew of 6 stout men to operate the cannon, and these men are taking the cannon into battle without horses. You can see on the side of the cannon, there are loops. You'll be putting ropes through those loops, and those 6 men will then haul the cannon into battle. Maybe we get some infantrymen to help us out to move it around, but those 6 men are the ones that are going to be bringing it and operating it on the battlefield. Even though it doesn't weigh 3 pounds, it actually is lighter than some of its bigger cousins. In particular, the 6-pound cannon, which needs horses in order to maneuver. I can easily pick up the end of this cannon and maneuver it very, very quickly by myself. So that gives this cannon the nickname a grasshopper, because it can hop along the battlefield. So these 6 men all have their specific jobs once the cannon is set up. So the first man has the worm. They're called the first matros. Now the worm is an iron corkscrew at the end of the ramrod, and the idea is it's going to search the remnants of the last powder charge. Now in the Revolutionary War, the British and the Americans used linen sacks of gunpowder for their cannons. So when we would fire, there would actually be burning fabric, burning linen inside the cannon. We don't want that in there, right? If we're going to put more powder inside, it's going to blow up. So that's what the worm is for. On search the piece. He twists it around and takes out the remaining powder charge. Now the second command is going to be for sponge the piece. That's for the second matros with the sponge rammer. The sponge is a sheepskin wrapped around the ramrod. It's dipped in a bucket of water in the front of the cannon, so it's wet, and it's going to extinguish any embers that might still reside in the cannon. Sponge the piece. Now you hear that pop, that thud. That's very important, because I was covering the touch hole back at the bottom of the cannon with my thumb, so no air is getting inside the cannon tube. When he swabs out that cannon with the sponge, it creates a vacuum inside the cannon. Fire does not burn in a vacuum, so theoretically, anything that's burning down there is now extinguished. And that thud is we hearing that vacuum being created. So if we don't hear that thud, that means that I wasn't doing my job as the second gunner covering that vent hole. So after the battle, I'll be punished severely. I'll be tied to the cannon wheels, just like Rich is, like this, and then whipped 10 times on my bare back. That was called kissing the gunner's daughter. Now to remind me to always cover that touch hole. Those first 2 steps, just for safety. We haven't even touched the powder yet, but now we're going to, because now the powder monkey is going to handle cartridge. The powder monkey is back here by the ammo box. You can see all the ammunition is kept far enough away from the big thing that goes boom. The powder monkey brings up the ammunition to the first matros, who has his hand behind his back, and he grabs the ammunition from the powder monkey. The powder monkey got that name because he was usually the shortest and youngest member of the cannon crew, and he had to be. What?
Tell him it's a dry run.
Yes. And he had to be because this is the most important part, the most dangerous part of the cannon loading procedure, because this is the only time when the ammunition is exposed to the enemy. The enemy is looking for the powder monkey, because if they shoot him and that powder charge, they're going to blow everyone up. So very, very important. So shorter individual, smaller target on a long battlefield, harder to hit, harder to see. This is just a dry run, everyone. We're not actually firing right now, just to let everyone know. So the ammunition is now up with the first matros. He's now going to load it into the cannon. Load. He loads it in the muzzle, because this is a muzzle loader, not a breech loader like a modern cannon today. Now then, we want it down here at the breech. So now we're going to ram cartridge. Ram cartridge. The second Matros has the ramrod. He's going to ram that cartridge down, and watch what he does. He lets go. He throws the ramrod down. Why does he do that instead of packing it in there with two hands like this, like you see in the movies? Well, what if something was still burning down there? And the powder explodes, the cannonball, the ramrod, and his hands are going to go down the field. So he throws the ramrod down, so just in case the cannon goes off, he gets to keep his arms. Now the cannon is loaded, it's time for my job to pick and prime. I have a brass pick here. This is an iron cannon. Brass does not create any sparks, so I can safely puncture the powder charge, exposing the powder so I can introduce a priming quill. Priming quill is a bird's feather filled with gunpowder, so it will act as a fuse from inside the cannon to outside the cannon. I'll put that in there, touching the powder there. Now we have gunpowder from outside all the way down to that main charge. Then I will cover it with my hat. Why do I do that? Well, we're on a smoky, hazy, chaotic battlefield. We don't want a stray spark setting this cannon off prematurely, because we might have friendly units moving in front of the cannon. So we want this to go off when we say fire. Lastly, the last two commands are for the first gunner who holds the linstock. The linstock holds a slow match. Excuse me. The slow match is, if you show them everyone again, this is a linen rope treated with saltpeter, so the end burns very slowly, but very hot. So when we light this, it's going to be almost like a cigar or cigarette. So we're not going to have an actual live fire, but we'll have something very, very, very hot that's going to set off that fuse. So that's how the cannon is fired. On the command of make ready, he brings it up, and then give fire down to the quill, and boom, the cannon goes off. We're going to do one more dry run just for safety, and then we're going to fire twice for you guys. And I ask, when I say make ready, that's the time to cover your ears with the palms of your hands. Don't put your fingers in your ears. Cover your ears with the palms of your hands and open your mouth.
Guys, when he says make ready, you're going to cover Henry, look. When he says make ready, you're going to cover your ears with the palms of your hands, and you're going to open your mouth.
Okay, you're going to
All right, have a care. Dry fire. Oh. Dry fire, it doesn't matter. Search the piece. Yeah. Sponge piece. Handle cartridge. Show and load. Ram cartridge. Pick and prime. Make ready. Give fire. Boom. All right, gentlemen, we are going to fire. Live fire. Have a care. Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
Palms of your hands, not your fingers. Palms of your hands, not your fingers.
Have a care. Live fire. Search the piece. Sponge piece. Handle cartridge. Show and load. Ram cartridge. Pick and prime. Alright, have a care. Make ready. Cover your ears. Give fire. Search piece. Sponge piece. Handle cartridge. Show and load. Ram cartridge. Pick and prime. Okay, make, ready, cover your ears. Give. Fire. Search piece. Punch piece. Search piece. Range clear. Range clear.
Again.
Search piece. No, we're good.